Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day. I'm a little bit sick, but it's all good. We'll get through this. And the flu is definitely going around, at least near me. I don't know about you guys, but seems like it's just knocking out households around here. So my wife came home from work and she has the flu now. So it's a lot of fun around here, but we'll get cruising. Here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Let's see what the market looked like. It wasn't too bad. I mean, Google, Amazon, Tesla, they were down, and Apple was just down a little bit. Microsoft was like kind of flat, and the video was pretty good right there. And Meta was just kind of flat, but it wasn't bad overall. There were some poppers running around, so let's take a look and see what's going to be popping. I made a little list right here, basically what we had before, and a couple I added to it. But how about B Hat? This thing was moving again, and like I was telling you guys, it was still in a good spot right there, and it is cruising up. It did move today, and I know some people were getting in it, and it went from like 4 to 6. It's at 5 right now. It's a little over 5 cents. So that is BHAT, that Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment, and it is moving, and it should move up tomorrow. It's hitting that 20 right there, so just keep an eye on it, and we'll look at it in the morning. But yeah, that 20 is like right there around that 6 cent area, so we'll watch it and see if it can get through it this time. If it can, it could get moving. So there you go with B Hat, and then good old Rhyme, RIME. This was pulled back today, and it had actually a nice little dip there, huh? I didn't even notice that, but it did take a nice dip. It was trying to get set up. It was moving around the other day, and we'll see. Maybe that made another new bottom. I'm not sure right there, but again, when they're down at 2 cents, 3 cents, they can pretty much do anything at any moment. So TRNR, let's look at this one. It dipped down there, but this one actually could be like one of them dip and rip situations. It's in the basement, stayed up over the MACD. I was checking it out today, and it does. It looks like it wants to get turned around here. 181 to 208. It closed at that 183 area, but we'll look at it tomorrow, and I think we'll be able to tell if it wants to get rolling. So that's TRNR. So keep an eye on that one as well. And how about that PW? We've been looking at it, and it's like I said, the real estate industry will get moving, and this is just starting to go up right here. What did it do today? PW. It moved a little bit, 129 to 136. It closed at 131. It's in that channel, looking much better. So that is at power right, and it is looking pretty good, along with a lot of the real estate industry ones. OCGN. Let's see right here. Good old OCGN. It is curled up. It doesn't look bad. It was running around today. I know that. I did see it. 75 to 78, and it came down to 72. It closed at 76, and it did get over that 20 for a second. It's hitting it right now. I think it will try to get into that channel tomorrow, and then we'll see it try to run up to that 81 cent area and see what it can do. If it can get hopped up over that, it could change the chart around and look much more bullish here. So that is your OCGN, and we'll take a look at it and see what it wants to do. And let's take a look at MGOL, because this was bouncing around today. It did finish down a little bit, but it did go up to that 14 cents. Let's see, 14 to 15, and then its low is 12. It looks like it closed around 14. It might even pull back a little bit under. Mine even says that it's at 14.1429. I thought it was a little under 14, so we'll have to see it tomorrow, but it still doesn't look bad, guys. It's still trying to curl up there out of the basement, so keep an eye on this MGOL, MGO Global, not looking bad right there. And let's take a look at our that Viking. I told you it was going to move today, and then in the after hours, them earnings, I'm telling you, it's crazy. These things just come crashing down on earnings. And VKTX did exactly that. It ran up today, and then it came down on earnings. So it is 33.09. It got up to 34, and now it's sitting at 30.20. So it did come down after the earnings after hours, and that was what happened with VKTX. But it was up almost all day there today, and it was cruising up, looking pretty good until it hit the earnings report, and then that was a wrap. WISA, WISA, this one's getting set up really good, guys. It's an American USA semiconductor company. It's not one that we generally talk, well, we talk about it, but not one that's a big name one, obviously. And it went 131 to 142. It's at 130, but it's curling up and looking pretty good. So keep an eye on that WISA because that looks good. And that LRHC, I know that dipped down today, or was it yet today or yesterday? I forget. Today it took a nice dip. That's what it came down, just touching that basement. Like I told you guys, it's going to jump around as it sets up. It has like 2 good weeks to set up here, so that's why I was letting you guys know you got time for this one. And it was trying to crawl through. It hit that pull back, which is kind of normal as it's setting up. Didn't get back into that channel. And like I said, it'll work its way back up to that 50 cent area out of the basement. And then it'll get set up. As the setup happens, it'll get ready to pop. It's not even close to ready yet. So that's what you look for. You look for these dips right here. That's exactly what you're keeping your eye on. STSS Sharps Technology. And this one was up 5 cents. We were looking at this one, and it is curling up. It has that big old fish hook up there, but it did have that big dip, and it does look good. 32 to 42. It closed at 36, and it does look pretty good. STSS, and I think they did something in the after hours. I forget exactly what it was. I don't see anything, but I think someone posted something. I think Scott or somebody posted something that they did filed something, so whatever. But it is looking good, and that LYT took a huge dip today, and we were looking at it, and I'm telling you, this thing looked like it wanted to try to move out of the basement, but now it's in a great spot down here. This is exactly the patience that you want to have. It dipped down, what, yesterday and a little today. It's at 44 to 49. It's at 39 right now. And that's exactly what you want to see. I'm not going to lie. That's their best opportunities right there. So it pays to be a little patient. It was in the after hours yesterday. It pulled back and then it kept going down. So LYT, I'm going to watch that thing because that'll be a good opportunity. And ADTX, let's see. This thing looks like it's trying to bottom out. I've said that 10 million times here. So I kind of tried to stop saying it because who the heck? I'm telling you, when it runs, it's going to run, but it just doesn't show that it wants to go yet. And it's been trying to curl up. Now it's flat today, and again, it had that big pullback on what, Tuesday, yesterday, and today. I don't even remember, it was yesterday. ADTX. So yeah, it was a pull back right there, but again, not looking terrible. Considering it's way down in the basement and it's been pulling back here forever. So I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. It's down in the 9 cent area. I don't know when we started looking at this thing. It was probably up here by the 20. It could have been at like 35 cents. We've been looking at it for a while here. So who the heck knows when we started looking at this? Probably even before that. I'm telling you, it's been in the basement since we talk about it since like August. It's insane. So we'll see it get out of there eventually, but it just keeps setting up and then pulling itself back. Not exactly sure when it wants to go. The flux capacitor was running around FLUX. And what did this do today? 180 to 186, and then it closed at 178. And it's not looking too bad. It tried to run up the last 2 days, so I'm not sure if it's going to break through that resistance. It couldn't do it these 2 days. I'd have to look at it tomorrow to make sure it can. And that is FLUX. And MAH, that's American Homes for Rent. This was up today, and that's another real estate one. And again, we were looking at this one as well. I told you this one was looking pretty nice, and it is. It's in that channel 34.95 up to 35.27. It closed at 35.08, and that 50's all the way up there at like 36.40. So AMH looking good, should keep its momentum to go up there. And CHSN is Chanson something, Chanson International Holding. Let's see what it's doing. Let me see real quick right here. Let me take a look and see what Chanson's doing. I never even posted the list, laptop travel. I just kind of wrote a few down real quick right before I came on and jotted your few down that you sent over to me, and then that was basically it. So I really just kind of jotted down the ones that were already on here before for the most part, and just kind of looked around. Couple from stock twits, and that was about it. So yeah, I didn't even post it out. Like I said, I keep forgetting to do everything right now. I remember this morning I was sitting there trying to look for the. It was so funny. I was looking for the spaces. I never even made it this morning. That's why I made it at like 7 o'clock. I'm sitting there looking around. I'm like, where is this thing? I'm like, oh shit, I gotta make it. That's how out of it I was. So yeah, I didn't even make the spaces this morning. I was looking for it. I finally did it, but yeah, it was. I was kind of laughing at myself. I was like, that's pretty funny. But anyway, CHSN. This one does look good. It's pulled back like a 0.5%, a little in the after hours. It's not even it bottomed out the other day. Let me tell you where. Um, Hold on. Right about there at that 44 cent area. And today it's at 44. I was going to say, it looks like it's right around there right now. So it might have been 43 the other day. It's right there. I'm telling you. It's right around there and it's starting to curl up. It has this big fish hook. Just watch for any dips on it. But yeah, it's setting up pretty good right there. CHSN. So keep your eye on that. And speaking about IEYEN, Inovia. And this one did take a split. We were looking at it this morning. Split the other day. It would have pulled back a little bit more. It was curling up, and we'll definitely keep an eye on this tomorrow. It ran a little bit yesterday, 248 to 320, nothing crazy. And today, 248 to 270, and it's at 234 right now. So it looks like it's trying to curl. We'll have to look at this one tomorrow, but it's way down there after the split, and it's in a pretty good spot, guys. So I could see it trying to bounce right there, and that's EYEN, and they did just reverse split as well. So tons of them reverse split. It's pretty wild. CTNM. This one got turned back around today. It bottomed out yesterday at that 896, and today it's at 952. So keep an eye on this one, CTNM. 985 to it opened at 985. It got down to 916 and then it closed at 952. So yesterday's bottom was 896, and yeah, it's going to be cruising back up there for CTM. So keep an eye on that. That's a big fish hookup, and it's still in the basement trying to work its way out of there. So that is CTNM. And Icon Energy Corp is curling up again. This one, just watch for any pullback on this. This one has a really big hookup on it, like big setup here, and it is probably going to take a little bit if it will pop up on this. Let me see, ICON. Here we go. And yeah, it still has a few days, it looks like, as it's curling up. Today, it looked like it dipped down to that 30 cents. So let's see. Yesterday got down to 30. We'll see if that 30 is its bottom. It very well could be, and it start curling up tomorrow. So ICON's looking a little better to get set up from down here. We've been looking at it for a few days. ASTS, this was up today, $1.62, and we've been looking at this one, that AST Space Mobile. And that one was good, 2301 up to 2480, and that's where it closed. So it looks like it could keep cruising up there. ASTS, and there you go with that one. ASTS, AST Space Mobile, and yeah, we were looking at that. Looks like it could keep that momentum right there. So watch that bad boy for some momentum. And CLDI is that Cality Biotherapeutics or something that was moving up today. It's trying to get up to that top area, CDLI, and it 125 to 180. It closed at 153. It could have some momentum in the morning, guys. So keep your eye on that one for the morning, because that one could keep some momentum right there. And JTAI, let's look at it. JTAI down 16 cents and down another four, just kind of pulled back a little bit. This does look like it could be trying to bottom out down here. JTAI, oh, JTAI, there we go. And yeah, today, like that 229 it is, 229. It's at 239. We'll look and see tomorrow if that tries to pull back a little bit more. That's JTAI, Jet.ai Inc., and it could be trying to set back up right here. It did pull back big time, and it's been dipping down. It looks like it might be bottomed out there, JTAI. So we'll watch that tomorrow. Let me keep an eye on that one and see what it wants to do. And LITM, Snowflake Resources. Let's see, LITM. This one is trying to bounce back up. Let me take a look at it. It looks like the other day at that 65 cents was its bottom. It's at 78 right now. It's going to hit that 20 up here at about 89 cent. It's at 78 right now. So watch for it to try to get up there and then it could pull back. It's actually still setting up here. It's not even like curled up. So has a little time. You can see a little bit of pullback on this one, LITM, Snow Lake Resources, but it is going to get set up and could take a week or two right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. MNMD, let's look at that. That is mind medicine. And we were looking at this the other day. It was trying to bounce off that bottom, I remember. And it certainly did. MNMD 821 to 8 to 1020 today. It closed at 940. And it's up there, guys. Keep an eye on it. It still looks like it could possibly get into the top the way that looks. Had 11 million in volume. I'd watch that for a little momentum play in the morning as well. And KOPN, let's see that. KOPN. Copin Corp. And this one had run up the other day. It does look like it's trying to crawl off that MACD. It was a little bit flat there today, it looks like right there. Yeah, it definitely was a little bit flat, but it does look like it's trying to move back up off of that 158 low. It's at 192. And it has some resistance up here at about 209, so I would look at it like 205, and that's KOPN. So yeah, you could get a little more movement on that tomorrow, possibly. We could look at that, but just watch out right below that $2 mark right there. And OPEN, I was talking about this one on that small cap show. They have earnings coming up on February 27th. It's at the end of the month. And yeah, I mentioned this last week. It was kind of running around. It's set up and popped up, and now it's pulled back, and it looks like it wants to run. That 20 is right there at 144. This is at 138. OPEN, Open Door Technologies, but it's looking pretty good to get moving. It was crawling up today, 130 to 141. It closed at that 137, and it does look pretty good. So keep an eye on that one, OPEN. And let's take a look at CTMX. Cytomex, I don't even know. It's like Cytom X Therapeutics, something crazy, but it does look really good. It was moving up today. Looks like it came down to in the after hours. Let me see. CTMX 86 to 96, closed at 95, maybe not. And it is in that channel. Watch for it to get up there to that like 101 area. And it's looking pretty good to try to get up there tomorrow. And that's CTMX, not looking too bad right there. And let's look at RANI, Rainy Therapeutics. And this one's curling up really good, guys. Keep an eye on Rainy, RANI. This one, it actually, I think it might have shot up in the after hours. It was looking good. It does say it ran up a little bit there, 49 cents. I wasn't really looking at the numbers, but here it's up to 217. Yeah, you could see it was looking good. 137 to 224. It's at 217. Keep an eye on that because that could keep moving in the morning, that's for sure. And that's RANI. And again, it already ran up in the after hours, so keep your eye on it. But it did look really good there. And BBAI, we've looked at the Big Bear before. We were way early on this thing, and it's all the way up at 718 right now. So BBAI, we were talking about the Big Bear a while back, and it went from 487 to 754. We were just talking about the other day too, and it closed at 746. So BBAI to Big Bear, we knew about that AI one long ago. And Clover Health, CLOV. This one is setting up, as a matter of fact. It looks like it's going to run back into the top. It just ran up to the top, hit the resistance up there at, what, 487 area. And it is looking pretty good to try to run back up into the top here, CLOV. And I remember when this thing like was all like took a huge dip one day and then it like bounced off there. That was a long time ago. It was like a penny stock. And now it's up at 466. And like I said, it's setting up to be pretty bullish there. And I'm sure I remember it did like a reverse split or something. I don't even know. It was a while back. And it probably was way before COVID, actually, when that thing happened. Now CLOV. So I traded that one that long ago, and I definitely remember that. But that is Clover Health right there, and it is setting up. It's looking pretty good to set up. So just watch for any pullback on that one. And SPGC. Let's see. That's that Sax Parente golf. Remember, it ran up not long ago, last week, I guess, January 30th, maybe a week ago, and it is setting back up. And remember the other one, I forget what that other golf one was that we were looking at, but that had run up really good. And this one we knew was running up. We saw this down at 29 cents, and then it ran all the way up to over $1. Right now, today, 58 to 74, and it is looking pretty good, SPGC. And I know we were super early, and that thing is setting up, so keep an eye on it right there. Sax Parente Golf, so that's looking good. A little pullback in the after hours, possibly, but doesn't look like anything crazy to me. And it is looking pretty solid right there, so just keep an eye on that one. Oh, True Golf. I was trying to think of the other one, TRUG, and that one had run up really nice. We were super early on this bad boy as well. We knew it was in the 30s, and this thing ran up over $1 as well. And then that Sax Parente just did it. True Golf had popped again. We hit another 100%er off it. I remember I said it was going to tee off, and it's just pulling back now. It's not ready to get teed off yet, but SPGC looking good. And AUST, Austin Gold Corp. This thing did run up, and it looks like it's going to run up some more, and gold is trying to get moving. So keep your eye on AUST. It's sitting on that 50 right there. It's trying to keep going up, so we'll watch it, but it doesn't look too bad right there, AUST. So we'll watch that tomorrow. And ALT, Altimmune, that one's going up for sure. Remember, I said they had like an obesity drug not long ago, and I don't look at any news, but I just happened to see the article about it. Well, this one got down to its low down here at like 615. It's at 699 right now, and it is looking pretty good. So keep your eye on ALT Altimmune because it is looking pretty solid to run up there. So I would definitely keep an eye on that one. That's definitely set up there. And how about canopy growth? The cannabis stocks were cruising up today. Not exactly sure why, but they were moving today. And it did have its its earnings, I mean, are coming up on the 7th. So they didn't hit yet, but it was up. It popped up into that channel right there. And it'll probably come down for earnings. So this is probably like a pre-earnings pop. That's what it seems like a lot of them are doing. They're if they're not popping after the earnings, they're popping right before the earnings, and then they're getting crushed like AMD. Viking did it today. A lot of them are doing it. This one's probably doing it, and so that's a little thing that you're kind of seeing right now, I think. And so I'm watching for that for sure. And SYRS, this thing is getting curled up here, guys, and it's trying to it bottomed out. It looked like at that 16 cent area. So keep an eye on this thing. I know we were watching it. It pulled back, but it does look much better now. So it looks like it's getting set up and can run. And the 20 is up here at like 20 cents. It's at 17. That's SYRS. And let's take a look at them prison ones real quick. SSTI, Sound Thinking. And this one's curled up. It was up. It's been running up. It was down 2 cents, but it's been running up here. SSTI. What did it do today? Holy cow. 10 to 1390, and it closed at 1380. So yeah, I'd say it definitely went up today. And yeah, that was crazy. It came down to $10, so you caught a big deal. It came down there to $10 the other day as well on the 23rd. I remember I saw it on the chart. It was like, that's weird. It keeps having these big pullbacks and running right back up. Might even have to set a little buy order on there because this thing is looking pretty good. That SSTI and Geo. That one was pulled back a little bit. Looks like it could be going up in the after hours, so I'll take a look at that tomorrow. GEO, and we were looking at it, already popped up, and we said let it pull back, and we'll catch it again. FSS. This thing is getting set up, and it looks like that bottom happened the other day at 94.46. It's at 97.72. Has this real weird look right now, and it looks like it wants to go and get popping there. I don't see any earnings coming up, so that's good. And yeah, it looks like it wants to curl right back through and get cruising. That CXW is at Core Civic. That was up 37 cents. And I think that bottomed out. They do have earnings coming up here on the 10th, which is Monday. So we can watch it for right after the earnings if you want CXW and COHU. Kohu, this is a semiconductor one in the U.S., and it's looking really good. It's been curling up 71 cents today, and we've been looking at it. So there you go. It's COHU right there. It's hitting that MACD line right there, and it's coming up to the 20s at like 23.91. This is at 23.60. It could go right through both of them. So keep an eye. They haven't been real strong going through the resistance right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But it is right there, so we can keep an eye on that one. And let me know what you guys want to see. I'll take a look at what you guys have, and I'll let you know. And I did not put a list out, Drake. I just kind of jotted down a bunch that were on the list the other day, and put a couple that were on from stock twits real quick that I just knew I'd probably miss if I didn't jot them down real quick. So go ahead, and anything you want to see, just let me know and I'll go through. I just had Laptop Travel had sent me his list, so I just jotted that down really. And like I said, most of them we were already looking at, and I was kind of just looking at some of them today. So there you go. And I'll look at the Laptop Travel list real quick and our Jolie's Jams, and then let me know what you guys want to see. We'll go through our crypto spy and all that good stuff and see what's going on for tomorrow. So here we go. AEI. Let me take a look at it and see. What am I doing? I just was on the wrong screen and typing AEI. AEI, here we go. Yeah, that's curling up. So here we go. We'll just bust through these pretty quick because most of them are going to be in the channel, curling up and looking good. So just jot them down. I'll take a picture. Someone remind me after the show, Laptop Travel, just send me a message and say, post a comment to take a picture of the list, and I'll definitely do it and send it out real quick so that you guys can see it. If someone reminds me, I'll do it. ALZN. That one I'm not even going to try to say because it's kind of crazy, but it is going up and it's in between that channel and looking really good. So ALZN, I would take a look at that one. Well, yeah, ALZN Laptop Travel thinks so too, and that one looks good. It's going to get up into this 116. It's right there, and then your 50s up here at like 120. It got up to 119. It looks like it wants to push the limits right there. AMOD, Alpha Modus Holdings. And this thing is trying to get curled up right here. You're right. The 20 is trying to roll it up right there. So I would say take a look at this for the 20 to ride it up. AMOD and BIAF, Bioaffinity Technologies. And this one just got on top of the 20 today, and it just started curling up really nice right there. BIAF. And that looks really good. So yeah, that one looks really good right there. Take a look at that tomorrow. And good old Cask is like a wine one or some kind of brewery. I forget. Heritage Distilling Holding Wineries and Distilleries. It was up 11 cents. I know we just looked at it. Take a look at this thing. It's fairly new, guys, and it is getting ready to rock and roll. CASK. So keep an eye on that CASK. It looks really good. CHR. I know I was looking at it today because it was on that list before, and it did look good. CHR in that channel. Pull back a little bit today, yeah. And then it says it's up in the after hours. I would say it's just going to stay in that channel for a few days, and we can take a look at it. CHR and COCH. Let's see what that one's doing. And Envoy Medical. It was up 2 cents. It's curling up pretty good. It looks like COCH. Yeah, it's trying to. What it do? 158 to 162. Its low is 150. It's at 161. I was going to say, it looks pretty strong right there. COCH. I'd keep an eye on that one. And CRWS here, Crown Crafts. And this one's getting rolling, guys. Keep an eye on this one. CRWS. I know we looked at it for the last few days, and it is trying to get cruising. This is that one that runs up to like $7 and then comes right back down. This is like a crazy one. I knew when I looked at the this one always looks crazy to me. But yeah, keep an eye on that thing. CRWS. And then today it came 453 and it came down and had a smoke break at 420 and it closed at 450. So it looks like after that break today at 420, it wants to get cruising again. Keep an eye on that bad boy. That one's a pretty wild one right there. And that is CRWS. I'm telling you, that one's pretty wild. DLPN. Well, Dolphin, that's that Dolphin I couldn't remember. I remembered it yesterday or the other day. And I'll tell you what, it's about to jump out of the water right here. Dolphin, DLPN. because it's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, it ran up really nice today. $1 to $1.11, and it closed at that $1.11. Its low is 97. But yeah, and it even ran up the other day too, just as we were talking about it. So keep an eye on the old Dolphin flippers going to get rolling over here. So DLPN and DPRO. Dragonfly, I remember looking at this, and this one looks like it's ready to get flying again. So DPRO looking pretty good right there as well. So keep your eye on that. And oh, Laptop Travel, here you go. He just posted his list, so I'm gonna repost it for you guys so you guys can follow along. And we are on DPRO, so we're on the second row, second one right there. If you want to follow along, I just retweeted out the list. Thank you, Laptop Travel. And yeah, this one DPRO. It's hitting that 20 right there, that dragonfly, but it looks pretty good to start flying up there. So it does look like it's trying to cross through there tomorrow. I would keep an eye on that one, definitely. DPRO and DTSS. Data C. This one jumped up today, but kind of pulled back, it looks like. Let me just see. 218 to 235, and then it came down to 180, closed at 209. So yeah, it's like in that channel, it jumped all over the place, but closed in the channel. I couldn't really tell, but yeah, now I can see it. Yeah, just a weird one how it jumped around. I'll look at it tomorrow, see what it actually wants to do there. But it had a lot of movement today, that's for sure. And ENTO, let's look at that bad boy as well. Oh, wow, that IVVD was up some more today. Holy cow, up 60% and then 40% in the after hours. Wow. That thing was a monster ripper, Luis Rodriguez. ENTO, Entero Therapeutics. This is right on that trend line, support line, curling up. This one's going to be a good one, guys. And you'll probably get a quick bounce off of it relatively soon. So we'll keep an eye on that one because it just flattened out, looks like in the after hours at 54 cents on the fin visit. Looks really good there. So I'll look at it tomorrow, but let me take a look at that bad boy tomorrow and see what it wants to do. And that GTIM is at Good Times Restaurant. It was running around and now it's getting ready to have some more good times. It ran the other day and today 245 to 253, and that's where it closed. And it does. It looks really good, guys. Now it looks like it's really going to have some good times. Could get up to that 257 and get cruising. GTIM and HSCS here. HSCS. Let's see what that's doing. Oh yeah, that one looks really good. It ran up today. It looks like it might have pulled back in the after hours. Let me see. 314 to 360. It's at 345. Now, that looks good to me. It should try to cross through tomorrow. It tried to the last time, didn't do it. And this time it looks like it should. So it's in a good spot. I would keep an eye on that as well. HSCS looking good right there. I like that one. And let's see what else is going on here. That's HSCS and INTJ, I think. Yeah, Intelligent Group. Up 3 cents. Oh, this one looks really good, guys. INTJ. It looks real good right there, and it looks good right here. I would keep an eye on that. INTJ. That looks like it's going to get moving tomorrow. MDIA. That's at Media Co. And it is just in that channel. Looks like it could be pulling back a hair. MDIA. MDIA, yeah. And yeah, it's in that channel. It looked like it just pulled back a little bit, more flat than anything. Probably just going to bounce around this area from like 110 to exactly where it's at, 117. And so it might pull back tomorrow. I'll take a look at it, but that's what it looks like just for a day or two. It is getting set up, though. That's probably more of a next weeker right there. And how about PC? Is it politically correct? It's premium catering right here. It's in Singapore. I wonder if they have good food for premium catering, but let's see what if they're PC and what they're up to. 72 to 78. It closed at 75. It did jump into that channel and it looks pretty good. So take a look at PC and what does that say? PLUR, PLUR, Pluri, and that one is trying to. It is trying to roll up there. It had some pullback today. It ran up yesterday. It looks like. Let me see this thing. PLUR. Yeah, it ran up yesterday and pulled back, and then today it went 435 to 447, and it's at 440, and it's not looking bad. It's sitting right in that channel, curled up. So PLUR. That one's looking decent. PRFX, a bunch of them looking good right here. you can kind of just pick and choose. That's a pain reform. Remember, this thing ran way up before, and it is bouncing back up. So keep an eye on PFRX. This thing could get cruising again. Yeah, it could. Today, what it do? 50.43 to it was like right there. It didn't really move a whole lot. It's kind of just in that $50 range. And so yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not looking. I was gonna say this is not the same one. PRFX. I'm like looking at this thing like what is going on? That's why. Yeah, let's get on the right one here. PRFX. I don't even know what the hell was I looking. I gotta go back and see. What was that? Oh, that won't do it. Shit. Hold on. I forgot. I can't do that here. I can't just go push the back button on Trend Spiral. X me out. PRFX, so I have it the right one up now. Yeah, this thing looks real good. I remember it ran way up here to like 665. It says 359 to 665 on January 24th. It bottomed out the other day at 280. It's at 325, and it does look like it wants to get running again, guys. So keep an eye on that PFRX. That looks really good right there. QTTB. That's that Q32 buyer. This thing's been down for a long time, and it finally just crossed over to 20 and trying to get out of the basement. This could be definitely a good one right here. Good find, laptop travel on that scanner because I think that one's going to be a good one right there. Keep your eye on this, and that's QTTB. And again, we've been watching this thing. It's bounced around a little bit. Huge dip it had, and now it's finally getting set up. Sometimes they take a long time, and that bottom was the other day at 290 or at 336, and it is looking good there. QTTB and good old Ray Tech Holdings. Oh, this one's getting set up. This one could be a runner tomorrow. Ray could be runner tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, I would take a look at Ray tomorrow and see if he wants to run there. So watch Ray tomorrow, RAY, and SIDU is City of Space. I remember looking at this. It's a aerospace and defense one. SIDU, City of Space. Oh, this one is getting set up, huh? I would say that's definitely getting set up there. So let's keep an eye on City of Space right there. It is getting set up. And SOWG, that's so good. And again, how I remember these things, I have no idea. I didn't even type the letters in yet, and I know it. SOWG, so good. That's crazy. I'm telling you. With the flu, I can't. I'm telling it's wild, guys. It's amazing. I should go on a game show, and people should just throw me stock tickers, and I could probably get them all, like most of them, right? Just like penny stock, whatever. I'm pretty good at stock tickers. It's pretty crazy. I have one good skill. I know stock tickers. It's like when Kramer does this show and he rattles them off, but he has a whole production team and like they're like sitting right in front of him, so he knows what to say. I don't have. I'm just going off of anything and just going, and yeah, somehow I remember these stupid things. But anyway, SOWG so good. I remembered it, and it did pop up not long ago, and it is trying to set back up right here. SOWG, and yeah, not looking bad right there. So that is SOWG and TPCS. Tech Precision Corp. Not familiar with this one, I don't think, but it is getting set up, and it was down here, made a base for a while, and that's why you just have to be very patient with these things until they get into the right spot. Like this one, 318 to 323. It's at 319 and looking good. So that's TPCS right there, and looking decent and in the zone. ZONE. This one ran up the other day. I know that and it is pulling back a little bit. We'll see if it's going to bounce back up there. ZONE. So it's trying to jump back up. Yesterday it ran up good. I remember it ran up to what 174, 154 to 174, and then it closed at 118. And today 111 to 127. It's at 121. So it doesn't look bad. That's ZONE. And that did, like I said, ran up yesterday. This Agrify, this was looking decent. It ran up some today, but I think it might have been pulling back. I have to look at it right here. AGFY, yeah, it did. It did bounce up there, 26 to 29.79, but then it came back down to 22.75 and it closed at 23.64. So it definitely pulled back, but it ran up there. and that is Agrify, and it is getting set up here, so you might have a little bit of pullback as it sets up, and that's AGFY and BLNK. This is our Jolie's Jams, and that Blink charging, that's going to get set up. It's been down at that bottom area for a little while now, and it does look like it's trying to finally get set up here. I know it ran up just like a day and then pulled back a little bit. Now it's curled up a little bit better here, so keep an eye on that. And Sezzle, Sezzz, or S-E, I'm spelling the whole thing, guys. Sezzle, that's how you spell Sezzle. Sezzl, and this thing is getting set up, and just watch it for next week. It was up $1 today. It's at 242, and it is like I said. We'll keep an eye on it for next week because it's getting set up. It's in that channel, and that 50's up here at like 293, so it could run around quite a bit, and or it can stop at the 260. So I'd watch it at 260 first, and then it could get up to the 290. But like I said, it's gonna bounce around and get set up, and then run that Sezzle Sezzl and Sterling STRL Sterling Infrastructure. Let's take a look at this bad boy. This is curling back up finally. That bottom came in the other day at that 134.97, and this one's looking much better. So keep an eye on this. We watched it take a really nice dip right there. Good old Sterling. So that one's getting that one's getting set up. Good old Sterling STRL. And let's see what Rivian, if I could type it in here, RIVN. Rivian Automotive, and yeah, this thing's finally getting curled up, guys. Their earnings are at the end of the month. It bottomed out the other day at that 1189, and right now Rivian is at 1275, looking pretty decent. It's going to probably hit up here at 1320s and possibly bounce back down the setup. I don't think it's going to cross through right here, but it is getting set back up. So watch for any pullback on that. And that's good old Rivian. And how about Symbotic is SYM? It was up 62 cents, and this one's curling up right here and not looking bad. It does have that resistance at 32.47, and you're at 30 something. Wow, came down the after hours, it looks like. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Hold on. 30.58 up to 31.30, and then it closed at 26.17. So actually, it was trying to crawl through, and it did. And it pulled back in them after hours. I think they had earnings, right? Yep, February 5th. There you go. It was looking good till it hit the earnings, and then bam, there it goes. Came way down there in the after hours. It doesn't show the actual chart. I'm not looking at it, but it does say on FinViz it came down 459. That's what caught my eye, and I said, "Whoa, hold on." And then I look at mine. I don't even have to look at the numbers. I can just look at the chart real quick and know exactly where it's at without even trying. 2617, it's down there. It pulled back in them after hours, and there you go. So that is our Jolie's Jams, our laptop travel list, a couple other ones that we went through. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll go through our SPY and our crypto and stuff like that, and then we'll see what's going on for tomorrow real quick. And I'll do a show in the morning, and I'll get some rest. And like I said, it's just flu season apparently. So you guys know I don't like to take many days. I'll tell you what, my head was pounding yesterday. I couldn't even like open my eyes really. It hurt. It was crazy. Like I was getting like this hardcore pain in my head, and that's not fun. My brain injury, and a head cold are not two fun things to have together. I'm not gonna lie. And my whole life, I pretty much just cruised through being sick. It never really phased me, but with the brain injury, I'll tell you what, I get these it's just weird. I get brain fog like real easily, and then I get like, if I get a headache, it's just forget about it. I like need to lay down. It's over. So it never used to be like that, but again, I never got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a house across the head before either. So that definitely will change your life real quick. So anyway, that's why last night I was like, I better not try to do a show. I could barely even see straight. So anyway, let's rock and roll through the rest of these bad boys, see what's going on. I'll see what you guys want to see real quick. We'll look at big caps, crypto, and then we'll cruise. So here we go. Licho something, how are you? And let's look at CLS and see what it's doing. Celestica or something like that. And it has popped up. Wow, it ran up today. What that do? Oh, that's a Canadian electronic. AI focused chips drive strong analyst, huh? Yeah, look, I was gonna say I had to have news off of that pop up. And today it went 136 to 145. It's at 138. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't look bad. you have to make sure it gets up into this top area. It's hitting that top line right there. It looks pretty solid. I would definitely look at it early in the morning. And again, I think market conditions could play a factor. If it does pull back, I'll tell you what, as now it made that resistance and support at 129. So it is at 144, jump way up there. And like I said, it could run up first thing in the morning. So just keep an eye on it for that. And DECK, that Decker's Outdoor Group, and I know we've been watching it. It is starting to crawl back up. I saw that today, and I think Luis Rodriguez also wrote it down. I think as well. Licho something has it too, and 169 to 174. It's at 173, and again, it took that huge dip the other day in the after hours on January 31st, and it's just been kind of setting up here, and it curled right out of the basement, and I think it's going to try to start bouncing up. It may not be a huge bounce tomorrow, but it is getting set up right there, so we'll keep an eye on that. DECK up, that's looking Luis Rodriguez. Yeah, he said he's looking for that, and the bounce, I saw him post that earlier. And so yeah, I saw a couple people actually post that one. So yeah, I'd say you guys are all on the something. And again, we were looking at it on that dip, and it is getting ready. So DECK, jot that one down right there. Good old DECK Deckers, because it's looking pretty good now to try to bounce back up. And this thing it's at 172. It was trading solid in the 206 area. So it has a resistance right here at 177, but it'll get right over that, make it its support. It'll bounce off of that 177. So could bounce around a little bit before it gets over that, but that's what you're looking at on DECK, and I have to agree. And trades and gains, how are you? And Rivian, the options and dark pool activity. Here we go. All kinds of good. I Here, I'll tweet that out here. You guys can look, but yeah, there's all kinds of dark pool activity. I usually don't look at any of that stuff, but it's always nice to see it. And yeah, Rivian, I think I just did it. It was getting set up here. Yeah, it's bottomed out right there. It's starting to crawl up. And yeah, I would say it's going to get through this time. It was bouncing. I think last time it was trying to do it. We said next time it goes and curls up, it'll get through. And it will. 1189's at bottom, 1275. And like I said, it's probably going to hit this 1320 area and maybe just below it. Maybe tomorrow. I got the 1307 today. So we'll see, but it is getting set up right there. Good old Rivian. As soon as it gets over that 1325 or 1330 area, it is going to pop up. So keep an eye on it for sure. And that is good old Rivian right there. And let's see. Let me see what else is going on here. What you guys want to look at. Lucid, like I said, that one was setting up there. LCID. Oh, let me click on it. LCID there. Lucid Group. It just had a little bit of pullback. It's hitting that line. Earnings coming up at the end of the month. Looked like it went flat. I would it did bounce up. I don't know. It might not be completely ready. It could pull back into like the 272 area and then get really set up. I'm not sure if it's going to bounce through right this time. It kind of looks like it wants to set up a little bit better, and it looks like it could bounce off the MACD, come down one more time to get set up even better here. But I don't think it's going to dip real hard. If it does it, it's just going to have a little pullback to set up there. LRHC had a really nice dip. We looked at it earlier, and that was a perfect dip. And like I said, you're going to see them dips as this thing sets up. That's exactly what I was waiting on to see if it wanted to come down to that bottom and set up. I told you it had like good 2-3 weeks to set up. You could see it's got a while, so I figured it would be dipping down. They always do, especially now. They're all dipping and ripping for the most part. It's not going to rip, but you know it's going to dip, run down there. You're going to get that bottom, and then when it starts to move back up, it'll get back into that 50 cent area, and then it'll start bouncing. So that's what that looks like, LRHC. And then real estate, they're all setting up anyway. So Outlook we looked at earlier too, and this one is I thought it was like, hold on, no, we looked at a different one. As a matter of fact, we looked at Open. Um, yeah, this Outlook one. Let's see, that does look like it's trying to curl down and through. And it almost looks like it was trying to bottom out. I'd have to look at this tomorrow. It could be pulling back right there. OTLK. I'll have to look at that one tomorrow. And PayPal AMD we'll look at. Gold I'll look at real quick. And in KITT, um, what did I say? Gold. That's a GOLD. That's way up there today, and and gold is moving, guys, and it looks pretty good. So GOLD is moving. That's at Barrick Gold, and I would take a look at. It looks like that 20 and 50 are going to push it up there. So keep an eye on gold. It was way down, and when they're all the way at the bottom, that's when you know that you want them because you know they're going to go back up. And KITT, this one's just getting set up. Could be just dipping around a little bit and running around, but KITT has a little bit of time to get set up right there. So there you go with them bad boys. And SMH, let's look at SMH. Um, you got it, and you tell you that's all good. Isn't AMH? Yeah, AMH is the American Home one. We've been going over that one. I actually had it on the list right there, and yeah, we talked about it the other day when it was popping up down here from like that $34, and now it's at 35.14. AMH, American Homes for Rent. We went through a bunch of real estate ones, and this was on there, and yeah, it was looking really good. I actually wrote it down out of the list when we were going through them. I was like, oh, this thing's setting up right here, and that one is moving. But SMH, let's look at that one too, right here. SMH is the Van X Semiconductor, and we were looking at that, what, 2 days ago? In the morning, I forget. I don't even know, but it's up 567. It is hitting that line right there, that trend line at 247 right there. Um, can it get through? It might pull back a little. It's hard to tell. You got your 50 or 20, everything coming together. It doesn't look like it's completely ready to run up just yet, but honestly, it depends on the market conditions tomorrow. If everything's like fired up green, this will cross through. So it'll really depend on that, and it'll be interesting. If not, it'll just pull back a little bit into like the lower 240s right there, and then get set up and run. But it is looking strong. The only reason why it didn't cross it today, and it looks like it could be trying to pull back just a hair, but that doesn't mean it can't get reset up. Yeah, and on mine, it looks like it has a few days, so I could see it trying to just pull back to set up a little bit better right there. So yeah, keep your eye on that one as well. And let's see. Um, hold on real quick. What is that one? Yeah, that AMH. I'm telling you, isn't that crazy? That's funny that you just, isn't it great when you type in the wrong one and you just find like a good little popper right there? But AMH is totally looking good right there. And that IVVD is definitely popped up. Holy cow. I mean, we looked at it way down here, guys, and it is cruising. I mean, it went over 100% between today's market and the after hours. It ran 131 to 319. It's at 292. I'd be really careful now. It's way at the top, but it did run up there really nice. So there you go at IVVD. That one was a really good popper right there, I would say. And there you go. And let's see what else is going on here. Barbara, we looked at the CHSN. Not sure if you heard that one. I'll check it out again, chancing, because I don't even remember what I said about it. And it is getting set up. That's what I said about. I know. I was going to say, I know it's getting set up, but I just don't remember what I said. And yeah, it is. It's just getting set up. If it doesn't start moving tomorrow, it'll be a good one for next week. That's for sure. And how about IINN? Let's look at that. And Spirit Technologies, Oxy. I don't have such weird names. An Israel company right here. It's in the basement. It looks like it could have bottomed out there today down at that 79 cents. It's back at 86. It looks like IINN. I am familiar with this. Today it got down to that 79. And yeah, I could see it trying to start to curl back up. So I'll look at it tomorrow. Remind me, I'll look at that tomorrow and we'll just see if it has any more pullback in it. And if not, it will start to cruise. How about good old Holo? This was down a little bit today. And it's still just trying to set up. I'm telling you, they're taking a long time to get to them lines now. So you have like days. Once they start curling, I mean, you have like literally days and days now. They're not just like cruising like missiles. So yeah, this one bottomed out the other day at that 137, ran up the next day yesterday. to 174, and today it ran 159 to 161. It's at 149, and it's just bouncing around as it crawls up. It's still in a good spot there, and still looks like it still wants to get set up. So I don't see anything wrong with Holo and KAVL. Let's see that one right here. KAVL. That one just took a little dip. It's been running up there. I see that. And today took a nice dip to 113 from 141, and it closed at 137. I'd have to look at this tomorrow as well. It did dip down to that 20, but I can't really tell what that thing wants to do tomorrow. So just remind me on that one. I'll look at it in the morning. That's KAVL. Yeah, I'll write it down. I have no idea what that wants to do. That's a hard look for today. And PET's looking a little better here. Had run up yesterday. I forgot about that because I did see it. And let's see what it wants to do here. PET. And yesterday it went 28 to 33. It closed at 29. And today it went 30 to 33. It's at 30. And I don't know if it wants to run too much. I mean, that could just been a little healthy pullback for it to try to bounce up tomorrow. We'll have to look at that one in the morning as well. It has that weird look, but you just can't tell. It opened and closed right around the same price. Yeah, 30 cents. That's why. And I really just can't tell what the heck it even wants to do tomorrow. It could go either way right now. I'd have a better chance of flipping a coin and getting it right for PET. So we'll look at it tomorrow. We'll be able to tell a little bit better if it wants to bounce back up there. It looks like, if I had to guess, it's trying to, but I could see it trying to pull back a hair and getting reset up to try to run back up there. So there you go for them. And Alicia, we just did Holo. I hope you heard that one. Holo, like I said, that one pullback doesn't look too bad at all. So there you go with that. Good old Holo and the video. Yeah, that one's looking good. I think we found that bottom the other day for sure. And yeah, it gets over that. If it gets over the 129 area, I'd say it's going to go crazy. So definitely keep an eye on that thing for sure. You say 128, 128, 129, right around there. And yeah, it'll definitely get moving. So, and then you got to watch it for its earnings though, because they're coming up on February 26th. So we definitely watched it and hit that bottom the other day. We called it out that looked like the bottom at 113, and it did get cruising there. Good old NVIDIA. So there you go with that one. And SMH, we did look at that bad boy. And let's see what else is going on. LRHC, like I said, that one's just going to be pulling back right there. And yeah, I'm watching the LRHC because I know it's just going to be dipping down. I was expecting it to, and that's why I kept saying it's got a week or two to set up. So just take your time and watch for dips. That deck we went over, but PCG, that PG&E. That one's looking really good there, Luis Rodriguez. I see that one getting moving. PCG right here. Keep your eye on that. Pacific Gas and Electric looking good right there. I would say that came all the way down. That bottomed out yesterday at that 14.99. It's at 15.81. It does have earnings coming up to February 13th, which is next Thursday. But that looks like it could run up before earnings right there some more. So there you go. PCG and IBB. iShares Biotech, the ETF, and yeah, that's cruising up. So biotech has been moving right now, and it is looking really good for that ETF. So IBB is looking nice, and you got some room to run there. So looks like it could have pulled back. I was going to say it didn't look like it pulled back on mine. Finviz says it pulled back $1. I'm not exactly sure. Mine says it's still moving up there, so I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, ARM, I was going to look at that one. That one was looking strong. It went up $11, and we thought that was looking strong as well. And ARM, it did pop 162 to 177, but it closed at 162. And didn't they did have their earnings, right? Yeah, they had their earnings today. And what did you say? They beat earnings on record revenue with guidance in line with estimates. So it did pop up there, and then it pulled back. It's funny, it ran up before during the hours, and then pulled back in the after hours. So they beat earnings, and it pulls back still. Again, just don't understand it, but that's exactly what's been happening. Laptop Travel was buying gold there. It has been looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And what else is going on here? Let's see. I think we got all them. Let me see if I missed anything. No, I think we got everything. And MSTR, yeah, how about that? The new strategy, he calls it. New brand, same strategy right there. Good old MSTR. We'll go through that. They changed the ticker, or they changed the name. Uh, they changed the ticker? I didn't know they were going to change the stock ticker. They just changed the name or they changed the ticker? I don't. Let me see. MSTR. Well, it is MicroStrategy, so maybe he is changing it. I have no idea. Let's see. I don't. I'm not sure if somebody'd let me know. I'm not gonna look through all this news. There's like 50 news things from today. But anyway, it is getting set up, guys. Let it pull back into the 316 area, and it's gonna look good. MicroStrategy. And they do have their earnings came out, didn't they? Yeah, that's when he announced that stuff, February 5th today. So yeah, it was definitely flat. Like I said, just a little pullback on MicroStrategy, and then it should get set up there. Um, Good old deck, Microsoft and MU will go through all them bad boys. So we'll definitely look at them. No problem. Let's show something. And let's go ahead and check it out. MicroStrategy on Wednesday announced it is now operating under this name strategy and will continue to trade under the stock ticker MSTR. All right, perfect. Thank you. Just the name. Thank you. All right. All right, there you go. So it is staying MSTR. I was going to say that'd be pretty wild to change the stock ticker when it's a pretty popular one like that. And but hey, you never know. People do crazy things, and but he's keeping it the same, just changing the name, which is way easier. Just going to be called Strategy now. And there you go. Let's look at our strategy. Let's look at the SPY and all these guys. The SPY was up today. It was looking crazy this morning. You couldn't tell what it wanted to do, but it is curling up there, and it looks pretty damn good, I have to say. So tomorrow could be a nice green day again. That would be really, really nice. So we'll be keeping our eye on it in the morning, but it did look good. Let's look at our Apple and all the rest of them here. AAPL here down 33 cents and just getting set up. It actually looks like it wants to roll off the MACD now. So yeah, I would keep an eye on it. It doesn't look as bad. It was pulling back, but it looks a little better. Amazon was down 589. They have their earnings coming up tomorrow. So let them have their earnings. It'll probably pull back, but again, it ran up yesterday and then it just has that pullback. And once they're at the top for their earnings, they're coming back down. And honestly, even AMD came down. That wasn't even at the top. So who the heck knows? It's crazy. But yeah, they beat earnings. They come down. It's just bizarre stuff. But anyway, Amazon pulling back. Google was pulling back today. Came way down. And I think they had good earnings, didn't they? Their earnings were yesterday. And I'm pretty sure their earnings, that's right, because AMD and Google both came down yesterday. So that's what happened there. And META, this thing Zuck, like I tell you, he's got something going on. 704. It went up a little bit more today with everything else pulling back a little bit. Meta still somehow went up a little. And Microsoft looks like it is trying to get based out down here to crawl back up. So MSFT, we will keep an eye on it. It does look like it's getting set back up and looking a little better right there at 413. So keep an eye on MSFT and good old in the video we were talking about up 618 and it is check it out around 130 because it's going to hit that resistance but it looks good to get up there and that's NVDA and good old Tesla is down $14. I told you guys this thing looked bearish and it actually reset up the chart right there so it does look like it wants to come down a little bit more to be honest with you. So yeah, we'll see how far Tesla wants to pull back, and that is pulling back right now. Tesla and AMC. Let's see it. That was down 3 cents, but it is getting set up, guys. I'm telling you, AMC is starting to look really good right there. It bottomed out the other day at that 315, and it is looking pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on AMC. Unity was down, and I'm telling you, that thing's going to come down and get set up. And Chewy, that one is coming down, and it's not looking nearly as good as it the other day. So someone jumped out of a bunch of options or did something, I'll tell you that. And I'm telling you exactly what happened. We picked up on Roaring Kitty real quick. And so, yeah. And let's look at GameStop right here. AMC's the next one. I'm telling you, GameStop's pulling back there, and AMC is looking really good. So there you go. You can play your Roaring Kitty. We should do a video about about it because that's exactly what he did. I'm telling you, he hit Unity, he went to Chewy, AMC, and then GameStop will be last. And we've been picked it out like a week ago, and I smashed Chewy, and now we'll rip AMC with them. So there you go with that. And yeah, it's like crazy that we can just pick up on that, but that's exact. I'm telling you, I promise you, that's exactly what he did, and you can clearly see it. Um, there you go with them bad boys. And how about Netflix here or MFLX? Since I can't type in an N, that's like an ETF, so we won't even look at it. It's a bizarre one anyway. NFLX, we'll do that one. Netflix, and that's over $1,000 and running up into the top. So it is looking pretty good right there. And AVGO, that was running up today over $9. It's curling up really nice, but I'm not so sure it's going to curl through this time. Maybe it will. It's over that 20 right there. It does look better right now. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. It very well could curl through there. So we'll take a look at it. And good old MU, let me see what Micron technology, because that was curling up. And as we were saying, the semiconductors were starting to look a little bit better, and they certainly are. And TSM, that was up 450 today. It's hitting that trend line, so we'll see if it can get through there. If it does, it'll be popping off. SMCI up 233, hitting that trend line as well. And again, we knew that was going to be running up today. It looked good, and it should try to get through and continue to run up the 50s right there at 33.76. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And let's look at what else. I just lost my AMD. There you go. What a disaster! But it actually bounced back a little bit. It was down like $12. It's only down 7.49. It says it pulled back another dollar in the after hours. We'll see if it can have a little bit of a bounce back tomorrow and see what it wants to do. So it doesn't look terrible, to be honest with you. So maybe AMD will have a pretty quick bounce back. We'll look at it tomorrow and see what it's up to right there. And good old QCOM, that's up 282. And this thing does look like it wants to run up. They had earnings. Were their earnings today or yesterday? I forget. Today, and I guess they beat them because it looks like it's curling up. And that thing had looked good. Oh, it came down the after hours. I'm sorry. It doesn't even have to look at that stuff. Yeah, it pulled back. It ran up today 172 to 185, and it's at 167. So looks like they beat their earnings. And I was even saying, guys, to be careful because it was already up there. And again, these things are crazy with the run up before the option or before the earning, and then they're just dipping down like that. Most of them are doing it. INTC, that one was down 36 cents or down. It was up 36 cents and curling up, and it does look much better. So Intel is getting set up there. And let's look at PayPal. This one was up $1.40 something. Remember, I had that big dip. This one should start to try to bounce back up. And Snow, that one's going to get set right back up, guys. It's pulling back to get set up and run up. It'll be at 200, I bet. It's at 188. It will get rolling. So keep your eye on Snow. And good old Dell was up 278 finally and looks a lot better. So keep your eye on Dell. That actually might run finally. And PLTR, that was down a little bit, but what do you expect? I mean, it ran way up there, and it only pulled back into the top, so it very well possibly could be blasting off tomorrow. And Sophie's getting ready to run up some more. It's just setting back up SOFI, so that one's going to move. And Mara, MARA, this one's definitely getting set up, so I really think, and we'll go into crypto in a minute, and Riot, they're getting set up. I really think crypto's having one little pullback here and something crazy is about to happen. So I think if you're not getting in it yet, your last opportunities are about to be out because I think it's going to be cruising after this pullback. It has that look and it has that feel. So just keep your eye on that. And Riot pulling back a little bit, but they are setting up, like I said. And good old MicroStrategy, just like I'm saying, this thing's setting up in 2 weeks from now. It looks like possibly not next week, maybe the week after. Clean Spark's really setting up too. They have earnings coming up tomorrow, and we'll keep an eye on that one. It might just pull back and then bounce after the earnings there. And Coinbase was pulling back today and dipping down as crypto is pulling back, and they have earnings next week on the 13th, so they have them next Thursday. So that one actually may pull back and then try to bounce before the earnings. So we'll take a look at Coinbase and see. It looked like it was trying to roll off that 20 yesterday, and then it just kind of came back down there. So that's COIN. And DJT, Trump Media, was pulling back as well. And it does look like it's pulling back. But fun is getting set up, guys. It's getting to be in a good spot here. It's trying to curl up, and fun is going to get blasted off. So keep your eye on PHUN because it does look like it wants to get moving. And how about that Mountain MTN was down 91 cents? It's just sitting right on that trend line right there. And it had that little pullback. I thought it was going to try to bounce off of there, and it didn't. It just pulled back. We'll have to see tomorrow if it tries to get bouncing off of that trend line, because if not, it might pull back a couple more bucks. And that is MTN, good old Val Resorts. I guess they're not having a good season. I'm not sure. And McDonald's, 94 cents. It was down. And again, this thing is getting set up. They have earnings coming up February 10th, which are Monday. So we'll keep an eye on McDonald's, see when it wants to do a before and after its earnings right there. And Boeing, I told you this thing was setting up. It's up 561 today, and it does look like it's going to get blasted off. So keep your eye on Boeing because they look like they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff right here. So there you go. Although Kramer said today he would not be a seller of Boeing Company anymore, while he was talking he wanted to sell it before. That's hilarious. Oh yeah, it's gonna pop up there into the 190s. So keep an eye on BA. Good old Boeing right there. And Space SPC was down 19 cents. And like I was saying, this thing's just a disaster. So it's just not a really good one anymore. IBM, that thing's running up a little bit. I thought it was up today. Let me see what it did today. 263 to 265. It did come down to 261. It closed at 264, so it did close up. And IBM, we nailed that one from like the 220s, and it's at 260s now. So there you go. And Disney, that actually pulled back. Oh, on their earnings, I bet it looked great, and their earnings were today. It pulled back. It hit that resistance, pulled back there, let it get set up for Disney. I'm telling you, can't play these earnings. They're crazy. Oxy, that one's trying to bounce off. It's just setting up. They're not ready. And ExxonMobil, same thing. It's not exactly ready just yet. And Nike did pull back today and is getting set back up. And DXYZ, that Destiny Tech 100's pulling back, getting set up, and that'll get bouncing soon. So there you go with them bad boys. Let's look at our crypto cube real quick and see what's going on. Solana's at 200 right now. Ethereum's at 2804. Ripple's at 242. And Cardano's at 74 cents. Bitcoin's at 97,392 area. And Doge is at 25 cents. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see. Hold on. I'm just going to pull up the Bitcoin on here, USD. And I just curious what it looks like on my chart as well. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I really think that this is going to be the last little dip opportunity. For whatever reason, I think crypto is going to start rocking and rolling really, really soon. So you're at 97,200 and something with Bitcoin right now, right around there. Let me take a look at the chart and see, because what I think's about to happen is your 50's curling down. Let me just make sure these numbers are still at 50 and 200 still. Hold on. Yup, you're still at your 50 and 200. And it is curling down there, pushing it down. But what I think's about to happen, because Bitcoin's made such a nice base here, and I really don't think Bitcoin's coming back under like 90,000. And if it had to dip down, it would probably have to come into like the 80,000s to get bounced back up. So I don't see that happening. I think your 20 is going to kind of push it down the next day or so. And then I think it's going to get back over that 20 or that 50. And then you're going to start seeing these things rock and roll. You're going to start seeing that momentum shift. And that's just what it looks like to me. You can almost feel it happen, and I don't know why, but you can. Ethereum's at 2,798. And like I said, every time you see these big old pullbacks like this, you can expect some bounces coming up. And yeah, Ethereum's now in that channel right off the 200, and it could easily get cruising back up there. And Ethereum, I was saying the other day how terrible it looked, and now all of a sudden it looks much better. It's funny. I was just saying, like, what the hell did they do there? And they must have heard me, because I'm just kidding. But yeah, it looks way better than it just did the other day. Solana's at 199.73, so it was just at 200. and it's going to do the exact same thing. It's right at that 200 to make the base. Your 50's coming down, your 200's underneath of it. So it's perfectly has good support under there. But I think your 50's going to come down, cross it, and then carry them up, and then it's going to get cruising right there. So I think that's what you're about to see. A couple more days, pop maybe a pullback here and jumping around. But yeah, they're gonna get cruising. I think that's gonna be it for them, and then they're gonna get rocking and rolling. Ripples at 241 right here, and let's see. Yeah, same situation. Now Ripples was already bullish, and now that 50 is starting to just try to curl back down now because it was way up over it, and it took a beating when it came down on Sunday after the whole tariff thing. And again, we had a lot of stuff just kind of shake them out. You had DeepSeek, the tariffs, and the tariff thing isn't done with China yet. So I think when that gets all shook out, when it gets shaken out right there, I think these things are really going to start moving again, and they actually look like it. So let's see what's going to happen, but that's what it looks like to me. Cardano's at 74 cents. And that one, just again, that 50's curling way down on it, and it's in between that 50 and 200. And yeah, it's gonna have to come down and get set up right there. So I think that'll have to happen for that. And let's take a look at Doge is at 25, just under 26 cents. And that had that big old pullback right there. And again, that 50's pulling down on it. And remember, I was saying they look like they were going to get pushed down a little bit as that 50. I don't think next time they're going to get really pushed down. They got too much support coming to meet up, and they're going to jump back up. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take here. So I'm not sure the time frame exactly, but that's what they look like. Chain links back in $19 area, and that one is getting the same. Yeah, they all look the exact same, so I don't really have to look at them all, but they actually all look kind of the same right there, and they are just getting set up. Let's look at the ETF 500. I'll tell you what that looks like in a second, and that's at 0.01587. And like I said, you look at that thing, I've been looking at these meme coins and checking these things out now for a few weeks and just watching these things just like they just dissipate. Like they just go, they vanish. I mean, they go to nothing so fast. It's crazy. And I even followed ones for like a month over the days, all of them, just keeping an eye, checking them out, and you can catch some pretty quick poppers if you're quick at it. But I'm telling you, it's pretty wild. They move so fast, and most people are probably losing money on them. I'd have to imagine because they just pulled a rug on every single one, and there's like thousands of them coming out every minute. It's insane what goes on. I'm like, holy shit, it's wild, guys. So you got to be really, really careful there. And but yeah, ETF 500 looks pretty damn strong. It obviously had some pullback as Solana did, but I think as you see crypto start rolling, like I'm telling you, that thing's going to get rocking and rolling. You're going to see 6-10 cents real quick, and then it's just going to keep going because it kept that 2 cent base basically. Just came down a little bit, and yesterday or the other day on them big dips were perfect opportunities. Like I said, I know I bought some. My buddy loaded up too. A couple people I know like really got in heavier. So I know some people that have some big, big, big bags there. So it could easily start cruising, guys. And it's one of them things, like I tell you, I'm usually a couple months early. I'm telling you, you're definitely getting in early. So I have a feeling by summertime you're going to be saying, "Damn, I wish I had gotten more," because I think it's going to be really cruising along there. So there you go with that. That's your ETF 500 and ASTS. We went over at AST Space Mobile. Definitely looking good there. We went over it the last few days and it was popping up. So that was looking good. And there you go. What do we do? Everything. I'll look at the scanners real quick. And I think we did what? Crypto and our SPY, our big caps, laptop travel, the other list. I went through, looked at everything. Let me just see if there's anything on the scanner real quick that's going to grab my attention that we can look at for tomorrow. That CYN, I told you guys that was going to move today. It was bumped up today. It was running around. And it could still get cruising. We'll keep an eye on it in the morning. And that was one I saw way early and it pulled back. We obviously knew it was pulling back. So We weren't playing with it, but we just watched it come all the way down to like what 8 cents or something crazy. So there you go. Nvidia's running up, BBAI's running up, OGEN that ran up this morning, and Rhyme that ASST. Remember we were saying it was setting back up. That looked pretty good, and BHAT was running up. Ford is going to get set up. It's not ready just yet, and that RGTI they're not ready yet. Let me look at it. I was looking at them today. Um. Yeah, it's just getting there, and I'll have to look at it to make sure that they actually want to crawl through and move. So we'll really look at it. AMD was down, Tilray was up a little bit, and Snap was down a little bit. We were looking at that. And QBTS, let's look at that one real quick. That D Wave Quantum, it's starting to look better actually. Here, we'll look at some of them real quick. Let me just take a quick peek. RG, I'll look at these guys real fast. That's QUBT. Let's see real fast. That one's getting set up there. That QBTS is the one we were just looking at. That one was running up. That one looks good, guys. QBTS, so keep an eye on that one. QMCO, that pulled back there. That one's still getting set up. And the QTUM is the Quantum Defiance. And that one's actually curling up, looking pretty good. It was up today. Make sure it gets through. And IONQ is up. And that looks like it's curling up and trying to move. So a couple of them bad boys are moving right there. So there you go for your Quantum and your computer hardware ones. So there you go. That IVVD was up. Uber was way down. And I think we saw everything. That MGOL, what's it going to do tomorrow? I know we looked at it once, but let's remember, I forget. It went flat and it was trying to run up. It could move at like 65 million, and it looks pretty good there, guys. So we'll keep an eye on that MGOL in the morning as well. It's still not looking bad as it ran around the last 2 days a little bit. And there you go. I think that's about it. And I'll just tell you what's trending real quick over here on Stock Twits. MSTR, BBAI, BlackBerry. What's that doing? Remember, we looked at it before, and it's popped up there into the top. Not sure you want to chase it, but it could be a great momentum play in the morning, guys. Ford and Viking. Remember, we said Viking looked great today going into the earnings, and bam, there it came down. ARM was up. Qualcomm did the same thing. ACB was up. HIMS was down. That was way up, and Amazon was down. So nothing real crazy right there. And yeah, I would say that's about it. That's looks like a pretty good market day. Traders see tariffs, inflation as 2025's biggest market mover. Survey shows Asian stocks rise following Wall Street yen gains, and S&P turns higher. Google and AMD in focus. Amazon to report earnings with focus on cloud revenue and AI and how DeepSeek could deliver another blow to the stock market. So there you go, guys. So that's what we're looking at, and appreciate everybody hanging out. And again, I'll be back at 7 a.m. We'll look at pre-market, see what's going on. And again, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Laptop Travel, Doge Mama 9 there, and Profit Logics, Jay Kratz, Louis Rodriguez, RD, Barber, Bong Pri Chan, and Robert, Lynn, Zach, and Alicia, and a bunch of other people are on. Greatly appreciate everybody hanging out as always. I'm going to get off and go get some rest, and I'll be back at 7 a.m. and hopefully I feel even better, and we can attack this market and get cruising again and really start banging in the profits, because like I said, I really think it's going to get set up here. Just a lot of crazy stuff happening as Trump got into office, throwing the tariffs, and again, he's doing things that weren't being done for years. Do you guys just see the amount of money being wasted in that organization? Holy cow! If I had more time, I would read that thing all day. It's insane. The millions and millions of dollars that they were just throwing at shit, that was just like the most ridiculous agendas ever. And this is the stuff I was talking about for a while. Again, I worked in government for a little while, probably a really long time, more than half my life. I've seen what they wasted money on. It was fucking nuts, guys. It's insane. Once they get a government contract, they have to spend that money every year to make sure that they get it again and be able to get more. And if they're not spending it on like a normal budget thing that they're supposed to be on spending on, they'll just find shit to spend it on just so that they can get that money in the next year. Trust me, I'm telling you, when my dad retired, they had to close 4 departments in the county because he was the only one that had all the licensing that they could actually get the funding for. You had to have certain licensing to do it, and he was the only one that had it. And yeah, I know how it all runs really well. I did it my whole life. I'm telling you, I ran businesses doing it. I worked with them, consulted for them, and it is crazy the spending. Like it's just out of control. I've watched it with my own eyes, and yeah, it's just crazy what they do. It's just bizarre that anyone thinks that anyone can run anything like that, and they've been doing it for years and years and years, and finally you're seeing this shit get cut out, and it's so great. I mean, it's just so much wasted money. And this is what I was talking about before. Remember, go back a few weeks. I said, as soon as they start cutting all this shit out, you're going to see the market take some drops, right? And you're seeing the market be very volatile. Look what they're doing. They're exposing all this shit. No one likes to be exposed like that. But the reason is because now, as I explained before, you're taking a lot of money out of people's pockets that should have never been in there in the first place. But technically on an overall perspective, it looks like you're taking money out of the economy, but really you're saving a shit ton of money and allocating it into the right things that would actually be profitable or the right causes that are what our taxes are supposed to go towards, not like drag shows and like these third world countries and sex changes. I mean, the list is insane, guys. And every single one of them, all the executives are getting paid like 300 to $500,000 of tax money. It's just wild. I'm telling you, like I said, I don't do it at a federal government level, but I've understood it at a state level and way smaller level, and it is just unbelievable. I say it all the time. I wish I basically ran for council. I wanted my hands. I want to get my hands on the financials. They obviously won't turn them over to me. You can fill out all the stupid whatever the requests are. I do it all the time. Oprah request and try to get. They don't even give you everything. I promise you. I've caught them and made videos about it, and then we had to go to people that we knew inside the state to get us the real information when we ran for elections. And I actually pointed it out. It was illegal what they did. I filed the request for the Oprah. All the documents, they never gave me the right documentation that I requested. They gave me half of it. We went to the state and got the rest of the documents anyway because we knew everybody and we filed the right documentation. They had to. It was illegal. And yeah, I made videos about it. No one cares. I think people care now. It's just because everyone's eyes are just open. But yeah, my town, holy cow, the amount of money that gets wasted. Oh man, I could tell you everything about it. I look at the bill list and everything. They hate. They don't like when I walk into a council meeting or any meeting for that matter because they know I know exactly what's going on at every single level in this town, and I promise you I know everything going on, whether it's money run or whatever. I just know. I've been here my whole life. I know way too many people, and I just understand how it runs, so I get it. And yeah, it's just absolutely bizarre the amount of money that just goes missing, goes in these people's pockets. It's crazy, guys. It's mind-boggling. I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, it would be so great if this country got it all cut out because it's all across the board from every small town to every big city. It's everywhere in between, and all of our money for taxes. That's why nothing can ever get done right because these people just waste money on bullshit, nonsense garbage. And that means, you know who it is? It lines their pockets because once they write these checks and they end up in these organizations, they can allocate it anywhere. Just look at Zelensky. He said he got half the money we sent him. And again, they write these checks and they just go. You can't track the money. I've said that 100 times before. They've lined their pockets with billions of dollars, guys, billions. So that's exactly what they did, and that's why they cause wars and make this bullshit up, just so they can write these checks and act like that they can get approval for it, because they know once they cut that check, $8 billion, $12 billion, nobody can follow that money. You'll follow like 3 billion of it, and the rest is gone, and no one has a clue. Everyone goes, I don't know where it went. They're finding out where it all went now, because guess what? No one wanted to tell you where it went before because they were all in on it, and now they're all getting exposed, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the greatest thing ever. I just love when shit goes around and comes back around and smacks people in the head like that. It's well worth to watch, and they can't get out of it now, so they're screwed. And yeah, that Epstein list got to come out next because that's going to be a field day right there. And yeah, it should all be exposed. Why are we hiding all this shit anyway? It's just let's yeah, the big guy always gets his cut. You're not kidding, Luis Rodriguez. There you go. The big guy always gets his cut. I mean, they were literally calling Biden the big guy on emails and telling everyone that he got 10%. So how crazy is it? And they do it right in front of our face, and you couldn't stop anything. And finally, thank God Trump moved his head and looked at a chart, because if he didn't, I'm telling you guys, we'd be looking to go to Mexico. Why they were all the immigrants were coming here, we'd be looking to move somewhere else, and because this country would have been effed. I mean, it would have been just completely chaotic and crazy, and yeah, they would have just taken over. Like the whole country would have just went up in shambles, and the stock market probably would have shut down. They might have burned Wall Street down along with the rest of the country. So thank God that didn't happen, and the American people just knew that it was going to happen, and that's why it was a landslide. And it's so funny when you hear people still complaining about the election or what went. It's like, were you blind? Like, did you not do you not see everything come? I love that they're all upset that Elon has access to everything. Why are we so upset about this? I don't understand why. Because he's exposing people? Is that why we're upset? I mean, they all had Hillary Clinton had access to everything. Who the fuck was she? She was never the president. All these people had access to everything, and they're all nobodies. And then they let Congress people and senators that they pick and choose have access to the information, but the other ones that they don't want to have information, they hide it from them. So what are they even talking about? And yeah, they're gonna get all exposed, and that's why they don't want it to happen. And that's usually why people bitch and complain, because they don't want it to happen. So it definitely needs to be done, and it is the greatest thing. I love watching it every day. I just love them seeing. I love seeing them come out with something new that they spent money on, and it's just crazy. It's like wild what was going on, and we all knew it, but nobody could get the information. You had congressmen, like Congress people, and senators trying to get that information. That's their job. You can't hold that information from them. That's their job, is to be able to get that information and see what's going on. And they were withholding all this shit from them. So that just shows you again the money and power. What I always talk about. That's what it was all about. Control, money, power. There you go. And that's why. Look how they were lining their pockets, just writing these big checks. We're paying for it all, and they're just out there living. They're living the American dream while we're getting crushed. So that had to change, and it did. So there you go. I enjoy it every day, even with the flu. It's great. I'm like, yeah, well, expose some more people. I just love it. And so there you go. That's my take on it all. And you know, I love to look at that stuff. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You guys know all information presented here is for educational informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Have a great night. I'll be back at 7 a.m. and I will see you guys for pre-market. So have a good night, everybody. And I'll get some rest and I'll be doing better. And like I said, let's get back to locking in some serious profits again and just crush things. The White House, yeah, they were subsidizing Politico and the New York Times to the tune of like 13, 15, 20 million dollars. No one. Did you see all the people were getting paid? I'm trying to think, I can't think, Ben Stiller, I think it was. He got paid $4 million. I remember when he went over to Ukraine, they paid him $4 million to go over and take a picture with Zelensky. Someone else got paid like $20 million to go over there and do something like a celebrity. No wonder why these celebrities were all backing them. They were just giving them millions of dollars out to just be like, oh yeah, you're on our side now. Yeah, of course you're buying them all out, and they don't want to get yeah, obviously they don't want to get exposed, but now they all are too. So it's great. I'm telling you, what goes around comes around sometimes. And yeah, they thought they would always have that power and could win. And again, look at 2020. They straight cheated in an election and won. That's how bad they had to keep keep it all. And they even tried to imprison Trump because he was a political opponent. So that's what you do in China and Russia. That's what they do. We were trying to do it in this country. So it was crazy. The BBC is literally state funded. The all them things are NPR, all that bullshit. And if you listen to it, it's fucking propaganda nonsense. So now you understand where all that shit comes from. There's an agenda behind it all. Follow the money trail, guys. That's what we do best. We follow the stock charts. That is the money trail. That's why I don't need to look at numbers. I don't need to look at the name of the company. I don't need to look at anything. You follow the money trail, you know it all. If you can read a stock chart that well, you don't need to know what the hell the company's doing. You don't need to know the name of it. Like I said, you can tell when they're going to go bankrupt. We did it with Big Lots. We did it with multiple companies. Hasn't been any lately though. I definitely enjoy doing it. I don't like seeing the companies go under, but I definitely enjoy calling it out because you can see it early on the stock chart for sure, and then they announce it like 2 weeks after I do. So that's always nice that I just could see it and you know what you're looking at. But yeah, you could see everything off that chart, and you guys know that. So there you go, guys. I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m. I'm going to go get some rest, and you guys have a good night. So I'll catch you at 7. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning.